I talked to the county health department and they told me that smokers need to be at least 25 feet away from the nearest door. So we decided to measure. At 25 feet, it looks like John had a few feet to spare. Mark, John, there's about 30,000 cars that go through this intersection every day. It's a very important artery, but when these on and off ramps were built in the 1960s, they sort of cut up the ballpark neighborhood to do that. He was called here. This is a Radisson today. It was a Wyndham back then. His job was to evacuate this building. There was glass everywhere. A lot of the windows had busted. And this is the sort of thing that the neighbors say they're seeing more and more of. This is an RV that has been here off and on now for several weeks. They think sometimes someone's in it, other times they're not. And you can tell that these guys probably had quite a bit of speed, because you can see even after hitting the truck, they managed to get up this way. You can follow this path up this hill. Really kind of took all this out here and then took a big bite out of that tree. As many as 90 firefighters have put time in since Saturday to put out a fire that has consumed a massive home in Holiday.
There's just a lot of challenges to this. We're talking about a structure that's bigger than most churches in the area.
A perfect storm of challenges, they say, and among them, basic infrastructure.
Yeah, water was a big issue.
This is the size pipe that we're putting in everywhere that we change it to.
New water lines today are 8 inches in diameter. The old lines in the neighborhood that the hydrants were drawing from for this fire are 6 inches, a huge difference in volume.
So 6 inches, about half as much as what an 8-inch pipe.
Marlon Sundberg manages the Holiday Water District. He tells me it was another fire that helped bring about the switch to the 8-inch lines.
Simply have everybody out except the principal.
That principal made it out, but in July 2005, Wasatch Junior High was destroyed by a 6-alarm fire, and it spurred big changes and big spending on water infrastructure.
Shortly after that fire, we went full force forward trying to do that.
There's tremendous cost.
Upgrading a mile of pipe is upwards of $600,000, and we have 57 miles of pipeline.
Sundberg says 80% of their coverage area has upgraded pipes now. They're on track to finish by 2025. In Holiday, I'm Kyle Harvey.
We have to increase $15 up to $40 almost. Then it's almost a 50 to 60% increase.
Leland Myers knows Davis County homeowners do not want to pay any more in fees.
I don't think we should be burdened with the whole expense of that.
Homeowners like Kathy Butcher say state projects should not interfere with local costs. The problem is the Central Davis sewer plant sits in the middle of a planned freeway that people really want.
Because the growth in the area has been so high that traffic is a problem.
Here's where sewer officials and UDOT are at odds. The plant says their treatment system that has worked for years.
We don't want people exposed to an additional risk that they don't need to be exposed to.
Is no longer viable with a highway and a walking trail so close by. Making changes will cost as much as $59 million.
The citizens will pay it if the UDOT doesn't.
We've actually hired the services of a wastewater engineer to review that.
UDOT's Randy Jeffries says the concerns about the treatment plant are exaggerated, and water quality regulators don't see a problem.
They have not enacted any laws that would imply that there are any serious health risks here.
The bottom line is construction starts next year, and if the two sides can't agree, ratepayers will foot the bill.
You know, it's a road that everybody's using, so just because the road is being built here, it doesn't mean that it's just those residents that should pay for it.
It was so fast, you know, the fire burned everything so fast that we couldn't even think about it to grab some stuff.
Nick Gutierrez and his roommate Jorge were asleep when this fire started. Jorge says a neighbor woke him up pounding on the front door. He scrambled to get everybody else out.
Open the door of him and he said, "Hey, wake up. We're gonna die here right now." So we start to run.
They say they didn't hear a smoke alarm. The neighbors who beat on the door?
Oh, they're heroes. They're heroes for sure, man. They're for sure.
I asked the fire department about the smoke detectors.
I've heard from some of the people there, and it's not verified, that some of their smoke detectors weren't working, and that could be down to batteries or something else.
What is verified?
The sprinklers didn't function, and so that could have been a number of things that caused that, but it really could have eliminated a lot of the issues.
Unified Fire's Keith Gardner says sprinklers and hardwired smoke detectors, those that run on more than just batteries, will almost certainly save your life in an apartment fire. Another key feature, firewalls that separate shared attic space. All three of these things were first required in new apartments in the 90s, but older buildings are grandfathered in and may not have them. So ask questions.
Yeah, any property manager, landlord, they're extremely simple things. They might take another 10 or 15 minutes, but they're great things to ask. Not something you think about until you have to have it, and then it's a really big deal.
It looked like it was boiling upside down, and it was kind of green. And it was really eerie. I'd never seen anything like that.
But Ryan Meller never actually saw the twister and didn't even know what had happened when he hopped on a truck, lights flashing, looking to help.
We just heard that there was something going on downtown, and everybody started going.
The tornado had been on a warpath, and Meller's engine was coming in as most of the city was trying to get out.
I remember it didn't seem like the engine could drive fast enough. For a young firefighter, it was a whole lot of, there was a lot of adrenaline.
Debris everywhere. Roofs had taken flight. One person died in the storm, dozens injured.
I was just blown away when I saw the damage.
Meller was assigned to what was then the Wyndham Hotel.
The impression I had back then is every window had gone out. I mean, they were all blown. And so we just started going up and down the floors to make sure everybody was out, and that took quite a while to get that done.
The tornado of 1999 was one of several events, both in Utah and across the nation, that spurred dramatic changes in how firefighters handle disasters.
Our response pattern were different. It used to be like moths to a flame. You kind of go and get there and just, you know, everybody shows up all at once. Now we're more organized.
9/11, the anthrax scare, everything brought about new policies and procedures for mass casualty situations.
If you add all those things together, this is one brick in that whole pile of that pyramid, and it adds up to we are faster now. We're a lot better trained.